So I just ran down the street so I could follow the Airstream. Off we go to our new home.
Oh, while on a conference call too.
Yep, on a conference call. We are in Clearwater tonight. I'm Allison Morrow.
Hi, I'm Allison Morrow.
I'm Allison Morrow.
And I've gone to a lot of places.
On St. Pete Beach, Allison Morrow.
And now with my former Force Recon Marine husband, I'm going off-grid-ish.
Pulling a 34-foot trailer with a whole bunch of wind, and I put together the GoPro.
Chaka, what do you think? Chaka, look. Oh, what do you think? Going to your new home? All right, you're officially on the highway. How do you feel?
I feel all right. It's super light, so it's not that hard to pull. The only thing I'm a little worried about is like drag, just because it has no floor in the bottom. So, and because it's so light with the wind blowing, today's pretty windy. We have to go up over the pass.
Not be able to see it in the video right now, but Lake Washington here, which is right next to Seattle, has white cap waves. That's how windy it is. So an interesting day to be towing the Airstream all the way across a mountain pass. So in case you're wondering why we're moving the Airstream, if you haven't caught up on the videos or you're new to the channel, basically I was a television news reporter for 12 years and I quit my TV news career about a month ago. And we are moving from the Seattle area to a much more rural spot in central Washington so I can take a new job with the Department of Natural Resources and also launch my own media company. That is taking us to this brand new spot we have not explored yet other than for hiking and recreation. But as far as living is concerned, it's been kind of a dream of ours to get out of the city and try out the sort of more rural country lifestyle, because we think obviously that's what we want to do when we finish this Airstream, live in it, to build our family homestead. That's kind of the idea. So this is sort of the next step to let us see if we're just idealizing this lifestyle or if we in fact really want it. And we'll do another video on the property itself where we're moving to. But as for today, the Airstream is the first thing we're taking over the mountains to this property, and then we're gonna start moving the rest of our stuff soon. But this is the first time we've moved the Airstream since we towed it and brought it home, and so far it's doing pretty well.
I feel like I'm gonna need to pull over here in a second because I think I see something dangling, probably that rubber gasket stuff from one of the luggage doors.
Gonna make a stop and see if there's something dangling from the base of the Airstream. It has no floor, you may remember. We have removed the floor, so there is just a frame behind us.
Yeah, that's what it was.
So it was the gasket from the luggage doors. I don't know what a gasket is. It looks like it's foam or rubber or something like that. But anyway, it was dragging on the highway. trip has been pretty uneventful. We are heading over the pass soon. The clouds definitely rolling in. It's for sure windy, but it's not snowing, so that's a plus. However, it is raining. And the Airstream seems to be doing pretty well, even though it is definitely lighter than when we first towed it home because it has nothing in it. We have totally gutted it at this point. But I kind of wonder, are people staring at our Airstream like we stare at other people's Airstreams when we drive by them on the highway and like, you know, Airstream, you're like, Airstream, Airstream, or is that just us? So we'll check in with you after the pass and see if we blew away or if we survived. Kind of unfortunate you can't really see the mountains right now that we're driving through, but just trust us, they're there. One cool thing about the place we're moving to is that it's like 15-20 minutes from one of the ski areas that we frequent in the wintertime, so much quicker trip, which will be really nice for recreation and getting back to work on the Airstream if there's not too much snow where we live, because that is going to be the new challenge. That tunnel that we just went through is actually a wildlife crossing. It was built a couple years ago. It just finished. It took a long time for the state of Washington to finalize it. But the idea is that I-90, which is the highway we're driving on right now, is really hard for wildlife to migrate over. There's a lot of car accidents with animals like elk, for instance, but also when it comes to like predator recovery, like wolves or wolverines and the animals that sometimes get too congested in certain areas, and then you have problems with like farming, agriculture, prey base, that kind of stuff. Those animals need to be able to migrate to different parts of the area, but the habitat is cut off when you have highway like I-90. So the idea with these wildlife crossing is that obviously they don't know that that bridge is their only way across, but the hope is that if you put it in an area where there's a lot of traffic, not car traffic necessarily, but they know that it's a natural trail for these animals to migrate through, then they put this big bridge there and essentially the animals cross over it. I have not seen like if they have any statistical data on what's changed since they put it up, but it's an interesting idea. And anyway, it's cool to drive under, and that's what we just did.
We're about 15 minutes or so from actually getting there. I'm pretty excited because I haven't seen this place in the flesh yet, but I've seen all of Allie's photos, and plus the fact that if she is okay with it, then I'm okay with it, because after all, that's the reality.
Chucky getting excited. Chukka, where are you? Where are you, Chukka? Is your new home? Chukka, is it your new home?
We are almost there, and the Airstream is still attached. Yep.
Hi. Nice to meet you, Kim.
Nice to meet you. 34 feet. So, we can go ahead and pull it up maybe next to the snowmobile trailer out there.
The white
Yeah.
box trailer?
What I try to do is I try to keep a pathway kind of going around here and back to the barn, because
Okay.
in case we need to get trucks or trailers or anything back there.
Yeah, I could put it next to it.
But if you pull it up too far, then when I know it sounds weird, but I like to look out the window and see the horses.
Right.
That doesn't seem
That
weird.
doesn't sound weird at all.
The Airstream made it intact. We only had to pull over one time to deal with that luggage thingamajigger. And it's here, and it's gonna be here now for a couple of weeks before we move all of our stuff out here. But as you can see, there is a ton more land out here for us to work on. There's no driveway, it's on basically flat grass, so we don't have to deal with the house right next to it or a neighbor's fence. There are no trees above it dropping leaves everywhere. However, the sky will be dropping a lot of snow, so that's definitely going to make a difference. And there's just a lot more space, quiet. This is hopefully the life we end up living for real, not just renting that life, which is what we're doing right now basically. But this will definitely give us a good taste of what it's like to live in a place where you have to take your own garbage to the dump, because the garbage guy does not come. Or if he does come, it costs a lot of money. What do you think, Chaka? Like it? Do you approve? Yes, you approve of the spot? Because you can throw a tennis ball? These are our new neighbors. I don't remember their names, but the mom and two sons. This is her oldest son. He's huge. Hello. And this is her youngest son. And that's Mama. Hey guys. Three's a company. Right? Are you guys our new neighbors? Neighbors, right? Neighbors. Everybody's dying laughing, can you tell? I got a captive audience from here on out. All right, well, hi. We'll give you guys a tour of the property next time. Obviously, a couple times on this journey, I was concerned that quitting my job and doing this move was gonna set us back considerably on the Airstream, because we'd gotten to the point where we had built almost the entire gantry crane to lift the shell off of the frame, and we had to disassemble the entire thing so that we could transport it over here to our new home. That has slowed us down. We hope, though, that the location we're in now and just the space that we have here will give us the ability to work a lot faster on the Airstream, just because we're not stuck in a driveway under trees that drop stuff all over it, and just have a lot more room to move around and get things level and just do work. It's not easy renovating an Airstream in a city, especially not like a city that's as congested as Seattle. This is obviously a big change from Seattle.
This is awesome. Couldn't have had it work out any better. My favorite part, believe it or not, is the fact that you can have Sassy in a really nice barn right next to the house. I also like the fact that we're gonna have plenty of space to finish working on the Airstream. That's gonna, we're gonna have to go through the winter, but then once we get through the winter, like, our productivity, I feel, will be huge. I like the proximity to the pass for riding and bless you, for riding and for skiing. I think we'll be able to do some work over the winter. I think, a lot of what we're going to be doing over the winter is, because we're going to be at the stage, once the weather turns, we're going to be at the stage where we're lifting it, redoing the floor, dropping it back down and changing out some of those panels.
Are we worried about the security of the Airstream at all? Like just being parked on this property and somebody just coming and taking it?
I'm not worried about that at all. So, especially like once it snows, it's going to be too hard for them to take it anyways. So I'm not worried about the security of the Airstream. I'm not worried about our security at all. I'm actually stoked about the fact that we're out of the way. And by the sound, I mean, yeah, we couldn't have, we won the lottery on this one as far as I'm concerned.
I like to think God's looking out for us, despite the fact that I consistently worry. Honestly, I was really stressed out about this move because the clock was ticking. It's been several weeks and we have not found anywhere to live. And every place that we looked at had something wrong with it, like considerably that we could not overlook, like either way too small, and that says a lot because we're moving into a trailer, or way too expensive, or like next to a really busy road but no fencing so Chaka could run out into the street and get hit, or we couldn't have the Airstream on the property, just like things that it would be perfect except for this one thing that made it completely impossible to live there. And Lynn has been gone for 5 weeks working and was only going to be home for 2 days to help me move, and literally Tuesday before the Saturday he was coming home, a friend suggested I call someone who then suggested I call someone else, and that's how we found our current landlord and this place. And it was literally like God had designed the perfect situation, better than we could have even dreamed of, and now we got it. And it's just a reminder that you can be patient and pay attention to the journey and not worry, and actually things can work out, and that worrying in the end never really materializes much. I gotta be honest with you, as a chronic worrier, I've found that my worrying does not manifest the greatness that I think for some reason my worrying is somehow going to materialize for us. So anyway, just another reminder that good things can work out without freaking out about them all the time.
Oh yeah. Yep. Clock keeps on ticking. You can't stop that. And you can sit there and worry yourself around in circles, and then all that time that goes by you're worrying, you're gonna still be right in the same spot. So
I think you also got to ask yourself when you're dealing with the unknown, like really what is honestly the worst case scenario. And if your worst case scenario is not a fatal illness, then you're probably doing pretty good. Because I had a friend recently, as we're going through this process, who really depressed, got definitely issues, but I was just thinking to myself, listening to her and myself commiserate, like, we're not going to die, and any day above ground is another day to fight. So you got to be grateful for every day you wake up, because besides that, my granddad used to say, never worry about anything that can be fixed with money.
I had faith. I knew we were going to figure something out, because really in all reality we had no choice. So I'm happy